Rajasthan Congress Legislative Party meeting today. Meeting to decide further course of action amid deepening crisis for Ashok Gehlot government. As Deputy CM Sachin Pilot hardens rebellion stand, BJP says Congress's internal strife has come to the fore. Cbse announces Class 12 results. Overall pass percentage stands at 88.78%, an improvement of 5.38% over last year. This year too, girls outshine boys. Cbse decides not to publish merit list. HRD Minister congratulates all involved for making exams possible. Supreme Court upholds rights of Travancore royal family in administration of Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple. Sets aside 2011 verdict of Kerala High Court, asking state government to set up trust to take control of the temple. Thiruvananthapuram district judge to head administrative committee to manage temple affairs. Flood situation remains grim in many states. Rivers flowing above the danger mark in Bihar. NDRF teams engage in relief and rescue operations in Assam. Met Department predicts heavy rains for next 5 days in the northeast, West Bengal and many districts of UP and Bihar. And India fight all out against COVID-19. Recovery rate climbs to 63%. Active cases in the country cross 3 lakhs. More than 2.8 lakh samples tested in the past 24 hours. Recovery rate in Delhi climbs to 80%, while mortality rate in the capital goes down below 3%. Researchers of Sechenov University in Russia claim successful completion of clinical trials of the world's first COVID-19 vaccine in volunteers. Russian mission to India tweets trials found vaccine safe. Meanwhile, confirmed global COVID-19 cases touch 1,28 lakhs with 5,68,000 fatalities. In our top story, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held an extremely fruitful interaction with CEO of Alphabet and Google Sundar Pichai this morning. In a tweet, he said, "We spoke on a wide range of subjects, particularly leveraging the power of technology to transform the lives of India's farmers, youngsters and entrepreneurs." During our interaction, Sundar Pichai and I spoke about the new work culture emerging in the times of COVID-19. We discussed the challenges the global pandemic has brought to areas such as sports. We also talked about the importance of data security and cyber safety. I was delighted to know more about the efforts of Google in several sectors, be it in education, learning, digital India, furthering digital payments and more. And amid deepening political crisis in Rajasthan, a crucial meeting of the Congress Legislature Party is underway at the Chief Minister's residence. Sachin Pilot has skipped the meeting. In a statement issued on Sunday night, Pilot had claimed that the Ashok Gehlot government was in minority and more than 30 Congress and some independent legislators have pledged support to him. And BJP's Om Mathur has also reacted. Let's listen in.
उनकी आपस की फूट तो जब से कांग्रेस की सरकार राजस्थान में बनी 1.5 साल से, तब से इनके आपस की फूट चल रही है। कोई नया विषय नहीं है। उसका सीधा सीधा कारण है कि 5 साल तक मेहनत किसी ने की, गांव-गांव कोई घूमा और फल कोई खा रहा है। तो पहले दिन से उनके कुंठाएं पैदा हुई और उन कुंठाओं का ही परिणाम है कि आज वहाँ आपस में ये लावा के रूप में निकली है। कांग्रेस कृपा करके अपनी कुंठाओं का भांडा भारतीय जनता पार्टी पे नहीं फोड़े, वो अपने घर को संभाल के रखे।
कह रहे हैं सर, गाँव कोई और घूमा और मलाई को खा रहा है, तो यानी आप सचिन पायलट की ओर इशारा कर रहे हैं कि वो सीएम नहीं बने तो क्या
करने को तो प्रैक्टिकल है। यहाँ से अध्यक्ष बना के भेजा सचिन को, उसमें नई बात नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ये तो रूटीन है। कुछ तो कह के भेजा होगा और नहीं कह के भेजा, मान लो नहीं भी हुआ, पार्टी का निर्णय है वो उनका, आखिर में उसको संभाल के रखना चाहिए था।
को लगता है कि कांग्रेस अपने घर को संभाल नहीं पा रही, पूरी तरह से उनकी अंदरूनी लड़ाई है।
कांग्रेस अपने घर की टूटन को संभाल नहीं पा रही है। ये कुनबा बिल्कुल बिखर चुका है। वो कहते ना एक गीत, इस दिल के 1000 टुकड़े हुए, कोई यहाँ गिरा कोई वहाँ गिरा, तो कांग्रेस की ये स्थिति है इस समय।
सचिन पायलट को ऐसा फैसला लेते हैं नई पार्टी बनाने का या बीजेपी की तरफ कुछ संकेत देते हैं, तो बीजेपी का क्या रवैया होगा?
बीजेपी अपना रोल जो करना वो कर रही है, बाकी निर्णय तो सचिन जी या अशोक जी को करना, हमारा नहीं है विषय।
अगर सचिन पायलट बीजेपी की तरफ आना चाहते हैं तो क्या रास्ता खुला है बीजेपी के लिए?
क्या अभी किसी के बारे में कुछ नहीं कह सकता, पता नहीं कहाँ आएगा कहाँ जाएगा, ये कैसे कह सकते हैं हम लोग?
नया दल बनाने की बात
कुछ भी करे वो उनका काम है। देखिए हमारी चिंता का विषय नहीं है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने काम में मस्त है।
यानी आप लोग सरकार गिनाने या फिर
नहीं, कहीं दूर दूर तक नहीं है, उनकी खुद की लड़ाई की वजह से वो टूट रहे हैं।
And meanwhile, Income Tax Department is conducting searches at several locations in Rajasthan, Delhi and Maharashtra. Searches are on in Jaipur, Kota, Delhi and Mumbai. IT department sources say that these searches are being undertaken on a complaint of tax evasion. State Vice President Rajiv Arora has also been raided. And the body of BJP MLA from Hemtabad, Debendra Nath Ray, was found hanging in Bindal near his village home in Uttar Dinajpur in West Bengal. He had joined the BJP last year. Reacting to the killing, BJP President JP Nadda said the suspected heinous killing of Debendra Nath Ray, BJP MLA from Hemtabad in West Bengal, is extremely shocking and deplorable. This speaks of the Gunda Raj and failure of law and order in the Mamata Banerjee government. People will not forgive such a government in the future. We strongly condemn this. The Supreme Court on Monday set aside the 2011 verdict of the Kerala High Court, which had directed the state government to set up a trust to take control of management and assets of the historic Sri Padmanabhaswamy temple in Kerala. The apex court upheld the rights of the Travancore royal family in the administration of the temple. A bench headed by Justice U. Lalit said that as an interim measure, the district judge of Thiruvananthapuram will head an administrative committee to manage the affairs of the temple. The top court delivered the verdict on a batch of appeals, including the one filed by the legal representatives of the Travancore royal family, challenging the January 31st, 2011 verdict of the High Court in the matter. The sprawling temple, an architectural splendor in granite, was rebuilt in its present form in the 18th century by the Travancore royal house, which had ruled southern Kerala and some adjoining parts of Tamil Nadu before integration of the princely state with the Indian Union in 1947. And as India battles COVID-19, the recovery rate continues to improve steadily. The rate as of today is above 63%. 3,01,609 active cases have been reported so far. 5,53,470 people have been cured and discharged. The death toll stands at 23,174. And Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu and Delhi remain the worst affected in the country from coronavirus. Maharashtra reported a massive surge of 7,827 COVID-19 cases yesterday. With this, the total case tally reached the 2,50,000 mark. While with 173 deaths reported in the last 24 hours, the total death toll has been pushed to 10,289. The state's COVID death toll crossed the 10,000 mark yesterday. Active cases in the state stand at 1,03,516. In Tamil Nadu, 4,244 persons tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. Besides, 68 deaths were reported in the past 24 hours, taking the state's total tally to 1,966. Also, 3,617 persons were discharged yesterday, taking the total number of recovered patients in the state to 89,532. The total number of cases in Tamil Nadu currently stand at 1,38,470. In Delhi, 1,573 new cases were reported yesterday. Besides, 2,276 patients recovered and 37 deaths were reported. The total number of cases in the national capital now stand at 1,12,494. The good part is the recovery rate has improved to nearly 80%. A two-day total lockdown with curfew has been imposed in Shillong, which currently accounts for 95% of active COVID cases in Meghalaya. The lockdown that began today is intended to enable the government machinery to extensively trace contacts of recent cases in different localities. Only essential services are allowed during these days, with all commercial establishments shut. The number of active cases that stood at 67 on 9th of July shot up to 216 by the morning of 11th July. The decision to impose a lockdown was taken following the worrying spike in cases. The latest update from the state government has put the number of active cases at 248. However, 178 out of the 248 are BSF personnel who tested positive from various camps in Shillong. The public in the city have largely welcomed the lockdown, as the rising number of cases has increased the general level of anxiety. The lockdown and curfew will remain in force in Shillong agglomeration till 6 a.m. of Wednesday. And Cbse Class 12 exam results were declared today. The overall pass percentage is nearly 89%. 88.78% to be exact. Girls have done better than boys by 5.96%, nearly 6%. In a tweet, HRD Minister Dr. Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank said, "Dear students, parents and teachers, CBSE India 29 has announced the results of Class 12 and can be accessed at cbseresults.nic.in. We congratulate you all for making this possible. I reiterate, students' health and quality education are our priority." And news from the northeast, the flood situation has worsened in the last 24 hours following incessant rains in many parts of Assam, with the Brahmaputra and its tributaries flowing above the danger mark, affecting 24 out of 33 districts. 2 more died in the last 24 hours, and these have increased the death toll this flood season to 44. According to Assam State Disaster Management Authority, over 12,90,000 people have been affected in 24 districts and 75 revenue circles across the state by the deluge, Borpeta being the worst hit district with over 3,83,000 affected, followed by Dhemaji with over 1,30,000 and Golaghat with over 1,08,000 people affected. A total of 2,015 villages and localities are submerged. Floodwaters breached river embankments and damaged bridges and roads in some districts. However, relief and rescue operations are on in a big way, with more than 2,300 marooned people evacuated by NDRF and SDRF in the last 24 hours. Authorities have set up 224 relief camps and centers where more than 21,000 inmates are taking shelter. Reviewing the flood situation with State Water Resource Minister Keshav Mahanta on Sunday evening, Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal asked all the MPs and MLAs to stand by the flood-affected people and lend their hand in relief and rescue operations. And in Bihar too, many rivers are in spate owing to incessant rains in the catchment areas. After over 2 lakh cusecs of water was released from the Kosi barrage, water levels in several rivers in North Bihar crossed the danger mark, following heavy to very heavy rains in Terai region of Nepal and districts along the foothills of the Himalayas in the state over the last 2 to 3 days. Due to this, an alert has been sounded in Champaran district. And moving on, researchers of Sechenov University of Russia have successfully completed, they say, clinical trials of the world's first COVID-19 vaccine on volunteers. The Russian mission to India in a tweet quoted Chief Researcher Elena Smolyarchuk, saying Sechenov University has successfully completed tests on volunteers of the world's first vaccine against COVID-19. The vaccine is safe. The volunteers will be discharged on July 15th and 20th of July. Following the discharge, the volunteers will remain under medical supervision on an outpatient basis. Sechenov University is reported to have started with the first stage of research on June 18th with a group of 18 volunteers. The second group of 20 volunteers was tested for the COVID-19 vaccine on June 23rd. There was, however, no further information on when this vaccine would enter commercial production stage. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. So keep watching. Namaskar.
Should I wear a medical mask? If you are healthy, you only need to wear a mask if you are taking care of a person with suspected COVID-19 infection. You could wear a mask if you are coughing or sneezing. Masks are effective only when used in combination with frequent hand cleansing with alcohol-based hand rub or soap and water. Replace the mask with a new one as soon as it is damp, and do not reuse single-use masks. The use of a mask alone is not enough to stop the infection.
हम सभी कोरोना वायरस की वजह से बहुत चिंतित हैं। कोरोना वायरस को फैलने से रोकने के लिए एक छोटी चीज हम कर सकते हैं। हमारे हाथ धोने बहुत जरूरी है। सिर्फ पानी से नहीं हाथ धोने हैं, साबुन जरूर इस्तेमाल करना है। और जब आप हाथ मल रहे हो साबुन से, ये आपकी सुरक्षा के लिए है। 20 सेकंड जरूर मलिएगा। ऊपर से भी ऐसे क्लीन करना जरूरी है और हाथ बदलते रहिए जरूर। मुझे लगता है 20 सेकंड खत्म हुए होंगे। हाथ अच्छी तरह से साफ कीजिए और उससे भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, उसे सही तरह से सुखाना। भूलिएगा।
What are the symptoms of COVID-19? The most common symptoms of COVID-19 onset are fever, fatigue, and dry cough. These symptoms are usually mild and begin gradually. Around 1 in 6 people who get COVID-19 become seriously ill and develop difficulty breathing. Most people, almost 80%, recover from the disease without needing any special treatment. Older people and those with underlying medical problems such as high blood pressure, heart problems, or diabetes are more likely to develop serious illness.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacts with Google CEO Sundar Pichai on the sidelines of 6th annual edition of Google for India, discuss ways to leverage the power of technology to transform the lives of India's farmers, youngsters and entrepreneurs. Key Rajasthan Congress Legislative Party meeting underway, meeting to decide further course of action amid deepening crisis for Ashok Gehlot government. As Deputy CM Sachin Pilot hardens rebellion stand, BJP says Congress's internal strife has come to the fore. CBSE announces Class 12 results. Overall passing percentage stands 88.78%, an improvement of 5.38% over last year. This year too, girls outshine boys. CBSE decides not to publish merit list. HRD Minister congratulates everyone involved for making exams possible. Supreme Court upholds the rights of Travancore royal family in the administration of Sri Padmanabham Swami Temple, sets aside 2011 verdict of Kerala High Court asking state government to set up trust to take control of the temple. Thiruvananthapuram district judge to head administrative committee to manage temple affairs. Flood situation remains grim in many states. River flowing above danger mark in Bihar. NDRF teams engage in relief and rescue operations in Assam. Met Department predicts heavy rainfall for next 5 days in Northeast, West Bengal and many districts of UP and Bihar. India fights all out against COVID-19. Recovery rate climbs to 63%. Active cases in the country cross 3 lakh, more than 2.8 lakh samples tested in past 24 hours. Recovery rate in Delhi climbs to 80%, while mortality rate in the capital goes below 3%. Researchers of Sechenov University of Russia claim successful completion of clinical trials of the world's first COVID-19 vaccine on volunteers. Russian mission to India tweets the trials found vaccine safe. Confirmed global COVID-19 cases touch 1 crore 28 lakhs with 5,68,000 fatalities. Namaskar, I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Let's start with our top story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held an extremely fruitful interaction with the CEO of Alphabet and Google, Sundar Pichai, this morning. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "We spoke on a wide range of subjects, particularly leveraging the power of technology to transform the lives of India's farmers, youngsters and entrepreneurs. During our interaction, Sundar Pichai and I spoke about the new work culture that is emerging in the times of COVID-19. We discussed the challenges the global pandemic has brought to areas such as sports. We also talked about the importance of data security and cyber safety." He also said that I was delighted to know more about the efforts of Google in several sectors, be it in education, learning, Digital India, furthering digital payments and more. So this is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi tweeted. Moving on to our next story, amid deepening political crisis in Rajasthan, a crucial meeting of the Congress Legislature Party is underway at the Chief Minister's residence. Sachin Pilot has skipped the meeting, and in a statement issued on Sunday night, Sachin Pilot had claimed that Ashok Gehlot government was in minority and more than 30 Congress and some independent legislators have pledged support to him. BJP's Om Mathur has also reacted. Let's listen in.
कि आपस की फूट तो जब से कांग्रेस की सरकार राजस्थान में बनी 1.5 साल से तब से इनके आपस की फूट चल रही है, कोई नया विषय नहीं है। उसका सीधा सीधा कारण है कि 5 साल तक मेहनत किसी ने की, गांव-गांव कोई घूमा और फल कोई खा रहा है। तो पहले दिन से उनके कुंठाएं पैदा हुई और उन कुंठाओं का ही परिणाम है कि आज वहाँ आपस में ये लावा के रूप में निकली है। कांग्रेस कृपा करके अपनी कुंठाओं का भांडा भारतीय जनता पार्टी पे नहीं फोड़े, वो अपने घर को संभाल के रखे।
कह रहे हैं सर गांव-गांव कोई और घूमा और मलाई को खा रहा है, तो यानी आप सचिन पायलट की ओर इशारा कर रहे हैं कि वो सीएम नहीं बने, तो क्या
करने को तो प्रैक्टिकल है। यहाँ से अध्यक्ष बना के भेजा सचिन को, उसमें नई बात नहीं कह रहा हूँ, ये तो रूटीन है। कुछ तो कह के भेजा होगा और नहीं कह के भेजा, मान लो नहीं भी हुआ, पार्टी का निर्णय है वो उनका, आखिर में उसको संभाल के रखना चाहिए था।
को लगता है कि कांग्रेस अपने घर को संभाल नहीं पा रही, पूरी तरह से उनकी अंदरूनी लड़ाई है।
कांग्रेस अपने घर की टूटन को संभाल नहीं पा रही है, ये कुनबा बिल्कुल बिखर चुका है। वो कहते हैं ना एक गीत, इस दिल के 1000 टुकड़े हुए, कोई यहाँ गिरा कोई वहाँ गिरा, तो कांग्रेस की ये स्थिति है इस समय।
सचिन पायलट को ऐसा फैसला लेते हैं नई पार्टी बनाने का या बीजेपी की तरफ को संकेत देते हैं, तो बीजेपी का क्या रवैया होगा?
बीजेपी अपना रोल जो करना वो कर रही है, बाकी निर्णय तो सचिन जी या अशोक जी को करना, हमारा नहीं है विषय।
अगर सचिन पायलट बीजेपी की तरफ आना चाहते हैं तो क्या रास्ता खुला है बीजेपी के लिए?
क्या अभी किसी के बारे में कुछ नहीं कह सकता, पता नहीं कहाँ आएगा कहाँ जाएगा, ये कैसे कह सकते हैं हम लोग।
नया दल बनाने की बात
कुछ भी करे वो उनका काम है। देखिए हमारी चिंता का विषय नहीं है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी अपने काम में मस्त है।
यानी आप लोग सरकार गिनाने या फिर
कहीं दूर दूर तक नहीं है, उनकी खुद की लड़ाई की वजह से वो टूट रहे हैं।
Meanwhile, Income Tax Department is conducting searches at several locations in Rajasthan, Delhi and Maharashtra. Searches are going in Jaipur, Kota, Delhi and Mumbai. IT Department sources say that these searches are being done on a complaint of tax evasion. State Vice President Rajiv Arora has also been raided. And body of BJP MLA from Himtabad, Debendranath Ray, was found hanging in Bindal near his village home in Uttar Dinajpur in West Bengal. He had joined BJP last year. And reacting on the killing, BJP President JP Nadda said, and I quote, "The suspected heinous killing of Debendranath Ray, BJP MLA from Himtabad in West Bengal, is extremely shocking and deplorable. This speaks of the Gundaraj and failure of law and order in the Mamata government. People will not forgive such a government in the future. We strongly condemn this." And also, the Supreme Court on Monday set aside the 2011 verdict of the Kerala High Court, which had directed the state government to set up a trust to take control of management and assets of the historic Sri Padmanabh Swami temple in Kerala. The apex court upheld the rights of the Travancore royal family in the administration of the temple. A bench headed by Justice UU Lalit and said that as an interim measure, the district judge of Thiruvananthapuram will head an administrative committee to manage the affairs of the temple.